Good morning, folks. Angela Rye in for Roland Martin. We are back with a divorce strategist, a premier divorce and family lawyer here in the Washington, D.C. area, and a great friend, Michelle Thomas. How are you?
Good morning, Angela. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Good morning. Well, I'm hoping that instead of telling people about how to get divorced this morning, Michelle, we can spend some time talking about the things they could do before they get married to avoid divorce. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic. I always tell people we help bring families together also, not just break them up. So that's fantastic.
So that is a very good thing. So first of all, one thing that you hear a lot of chatter about are prenups. So I think we should talk to folks first about what a prenuptial agreement really is.
Sure. A lot of people probably hear a lot of misconceptions just sort of in the public, but a prenuptial agreement is simply a legal contract that sets forth that governs basically what your marriage will look like, and then what happens if, for whatever reason, your marriage should dissolve. So I think the best way to look at it is it's insurance, right? If you don't drive a car without insurance and you don't buy a house without insurance, why in the world would you get married without insurance?
So
that's really the best way to look at it.
Well, that makes really good sense, right? We have state laws in Maryland that require us to have car insurance. Folks have
Absolutely.
health insurance. Some folks through their jobs have dental insurance and vision insurance. So that makes really good sense. But what about the misconceptions, I think particularly, Michelle, in our community, that having a prenup is basically like saying, your marriage is not going to last? What would you say to that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that feel that way, either from a spiritual and Christian perspective, which is prevalent in the African American community. But what we say is it's not necessarily planning to fail, but failing to plan for whatever may happen in the future. We don't know the future, right? Only God does. And so, from that perspective, I think it's about being smart, and I think it's about looking at the statistics and saying, okay, more than half of marriages don't make it, and hopefully you'll be part of the half that does. But what happens if you don't? What happens? And so to avoid a lot of the heartache and financial heartache and hardship and emotional hardship down the road, it's simply better to be safe than sorry. And that's the way that I explain it to people. And
the safe than sorry, better off safe than sorry is a good concept that I think we also hear a lot about. Yet another issue in our community is wills, right? Like people say, okay, I don't need a will or a prenup because I don't have a lot of money. There's nothing to really dole out. I don't have property yet, or I don't have a lot of property. I can figure it out on my own. What do you hear a lot of that when folks come into your office?
We hear that all the time, and I think that's probably one of the greatest misconceptions, that you have to be really wealthy or be rich in order to consider a prenup or even a will. Neither of those is true, right? The one thing that we know is guaranteed is that you're going to die one day. So a will really helps, particularly those that you care about that are left behind, take care of your business and estates when, at the end of the day. And the same thing goes true with a prenuptial agreement. It doesn't make sense to not consider all of the possibilities. And with respect to prenups can do a lot more than just protect your assets down the road. They can determine whether a party will get alimony. They can even determine the details of the marriage, like, who will pay the bills in the household, who will do the household chores within the household. It can discuss your debt as well, because a lot of people, particularly I think in the Black community, don't necessarily want to exchange credit reports before they say I do, so they don't know exactly what they're walking into. And so there's a lot of ways and a lot of uses for a prenuptial agreement, and it just makes the process a lot easier. I mean, whenever you're dealing with matters of the heart, at the end of the day, you're very emotional. There's a lot of high emotions going on, and so the last thing you need is to be worried about the legalities of the situation. Because marriage is a business contract that you and your partner enter into, hopefully for the long term. So you want to take that off your plate, and you can take it off your plate by being proactive and having a prenuptial agreement. And then who knows what the future holds? You might open a business or do really well financially, and do you want your spouse to be able to walk away with half of what you've put equity into?
So one thing, Michelle, too, I think we can get to divorce after this, but let's definitely get back to this good conversation.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to News One Now. We have divorce lawyer Michelle Thomas on with us, talking to us about how to ensure we either get married and stay married, or if we're already headed down a path of divorce, how to protect ourselves. So, Michelle, talk
Yes.
to us about what we can do if there's no prenup and it's not looking like it's going to last. What can we do to legally protect ourselves in a divorce type of situation?
Well, the first thing I always say is that you want to consult with a lawyer as early as possible. You know, the worst thing you can do is to go through this process and then have regrets at the end of the day. And so, you know, what sounds right or what sounds like it might be the right thing isn't always the law, and vice versa. So you want to make sure that you put a competent team together. Your team also needs to include, I always say, some sort of therapist or a coach or something, because your divorce lawyer is not your coach. And so a lot of times people get that confused. But you want to have all of the support you can to make sure that this process is as painless as possible. But, I mean, no one looks forward to divorce. It's a rough process, and so you want to take the steps as early as possible and be as proactive as possible from the beginning.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Michelle will take your questions. If you call in 877-373-9766. Michelle, one question I am dying to ask you about is these reality TV shows, these celebrity marriages, or new type, the new kind of celebrity marriage. When you watch that, I know we've had conversations in the past where you can kind of tell right off the jump if someone's marriage is going to make it or break it. What do you think when you're watching these shows? I know you watch them. Don't lie to the people.
Listen. There's only one that I'll admit to, but it's tragic. It's really tragic. You know, listen, I do catch Real Housewives on occasion of Atlanta, and it's just, I look at that, and where can you go from that? I mean, marriage is supposed to be a sacred, important, critical part of your life that you should really take a lot more seriously. And to see it just sort of being paraded around either for personal gain, monetary gain, or whatever the case may be. I mean, the way people treat each other, the way they talk to each other. You know, one of the things I hear is that money is the root of most of the divorce and the reason why people fight. But I always feel like it's a lack of appreciation and taking the person for granted and just not being a nice person to your spouse. So when I watch all that and all the fighting and cheating, it's tragic. And I think the role modeling for the Black community in particular is really troubling to me.
So when you have folks that come in your office, obviously as an attorney, I'm not going to ask you to violate any type of attorney-client privilege, but what is the most common reason for divorce that you see when folks come to see you?
So when people come in as a divorce practitioner, a lot of times there is cheating. Someone's been unfaithful. And oftentimes the spouse has been cheated on, feels like they've been slighted, had no idea it was coming. But then when you dig a little deeper, there's usually something underneath where that spouse may have, like I said, taken the person for granted, not appreciated what they did, the little things that they did, whether it was just taking out the trash every day or making sure your coffee was ready in the morning, taking all of that stuff for granted. And so then when the other person turns off and says, you know what, if you don't appreciate me, somebody else out there will, then the person decides, oh, wait a minute, maybe I did have a good thing. But by then it's too late. So I think that while you may have fights about money or there may be some infidelity, these surface things, if you dig a little deeper, I think most people are good at their core and they don't want to go in those directions. Right. But both people probably played a role in it and has something to do with that.
Well, we haven't got any questions yet, but I do think another thing, you brought it up, cheating. There's a show, the TV show Cheaters. Do you think that helps the situation or hurts? Do you see a lot of situations where people have hired private investigators or they talk about wanting to go on cheaters? Do you see anything that outlandish, or are your clients a little more normal?
Listen, girl, sadly, private investigators are a regular part of my practice. Like, I honestly, that is what you see actually does happen. And you do capture people on tape doing things that they shouldn't be doing with persons they are not married to. And I think the television shows, they just exacerbate the problem, right? Because people fail to separate the reality from what really is. And then once your marriage does dissolve because of how you've acted, I mean, then what? Who wants to really grow old alone and then live life with regrets? Because that's often what happens. So I don't think that the modeling we see on television is helpful at all. and going down that path. But sadly, that is a part of my practice. Private investigators and I always say it's sex, lies, and videotape all day long. That's what divorce is.
So, Michelle, do you hire the private investigators, or does your client come already with the private investigator? They already have the facts.
Well, you know,
You can't tell me that. No comment. Okay, no comment.
No comment. No comment.
Well, we are here taking questions for legal marriage expert attorney Michelle Thomas, a good friend, a very competent attorney at 877-373-9766, or you can tweet us using hashtag #NewsOneNow. Let us know what your thoughts are about marriage, love and marriage, and divorce. Ladies and gentlemen, back filling in for Roland Martin today. I'm Angela Rye, and we are with legal marriage expert Michelle C. Thomas, based in the DMV area. She's talking to us about love, marriage, and divorce today. So we are taking your calls, 877-373-9766. Michelle's not going to be here forever, folks, so you better call in if you have a question. Michelle, on this, I have one question that's burning, and that is, what's more expensive, the wedding or the divorce?
Oh my gosh, the divorce by far.
Wow.
When people say it's cheaper to keep her, that is the truth. That is the absolute truth. So
maybe him too.
Yeah. And that's the problem is people spend all this time, all this money planning the wedding, but what about the marriage?
Right.
What is your day-to-day life going to be like? Who is this person? Do you even know who the core of that person is that you're marrying? And so I always say that if you don't go through some sort of premarital counseling, then that is an absolute recipe for disaster and divorce.
So we were talking earlier about Real Housewives, and I told you I had a question about Apollo and Phaedra, and I know. So he's got a sentencing coming up, and he could be spending several years in prison. She's a lawyer like us, Michelle, and I'm wondering, you know, did love blind her? There was a song back in the day from Karen White, Love Saw It. Did love not see that? He was fresh out of jail. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on Apollo and Phaedra? Will they make it, or do you see a divorce, impending divorce coming up here?
You know, I always look at, is the relationship based on trust, right? That's the first thing. Can you trust the person that you're with? And once someone breaches that trust, whether in their own conduct with you or out in the world, because if someone is willing to cheat and lie to other people, imagine, what would they do to you? So, you know, that's kind of crazy. But there's a lot of reasons people just go ahead and get married. I don't know Phaedra personally, but sometimes age has something to do with it, and a lot of people settle. In my practice, 90% of the people should have never, ever married in the first place.
Wow, 95%?
Well, okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but a large percentage of people, it is no surprise. I'm not surprised, anyway, that they ended up in my office because there's all these external factors, whether they're reaching a certain point in life, their parents, friends are getting married, whatever the case may be. But it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
I think that's a good point, too. The pressure that family and friends may put on, particularly women our age, Michelle, once you get into your 30s.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Hey, we're close enough. I don't mind telling your business a little bit on here. We're supposed to be friends, right? So once you get to a certain age, like after 30, folks really start pressing you really hard.
They do.
So, Michelle, really quick, we have a caller on line 1. Caller, what's your question?
I just wanted to know, what are the repercussions if you date before your divorce is finalized? And then will dating affect the outcome of the divorce?
So dating during separation?
Yes.
Okay. Michelle?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. And I wish more people would ask that before they do actually start dating. In certain jurisdictions, what we consider post-separation, cheating, adultery, or whatever, it's still considered adultery even if you've been separated. And in some states, they will look at what your activity has been with other people and make a decision on alimony. Are you deserving of alimony if you've been involved in these other relationships? They'll look at whether you've exposed the children, if there are children, to this other person, and that may affect the custody award. So there can be repercussions based upon the state and the actual circumstances. So I think the best thing anyone can do is speak to an attorney, a competent attorney, before they decide to do that during the separation period. But that was a really good question.
It is a good question.
Okay, thank you.
Michelle, in your practice, you know, this is a very emotional space, and I honestly have always admired the fact that you've been able to kind of do this. How emotional is this for you? Has there ever been a time at work where you're just like, okay, I need a moment, and you have to like cry, or you're just like, I just need to check out for a minute? Like, is it ever that bad?
See, now, Angela, because you've known me forever, I think you already know the answer to this. But, people, my clients tease me by calling me a Vulcan because I really hone in on the law and the strategy and execute. But what I say is this: listen, both people can't be in this, right, in this situation. And the client, obviously, their life is falling apart for the most part when they hire me. So you need an attorney who can be sensitive to your needs, understand that the work that we do affects people's everyday lives, and also be clear-minded and be able to focus on the law and the facts to ensure the best possible outcome.
Well, Michelle, attorney Michelle Thomas, a good friend, divorce strategist, law, marriage expert. Thank you so much for spending your Friday morning with us, and we look forward to having you on soon.
Thank you so much for having me.